Season 4 is almost upon us in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and that means a bunch of new content for both the main multiplayer and Warzone as well, so exciting times for anyone who's a fan. We've got new weapons to talk about, a new operator, possibly 2 new operators, small hints at the Warzone story unfolding, a new map for multiplayer, and even more. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, then now is a great time to do so. Click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the Season 4 content that I'll be making over the next several weeks. The new season starts on June the 3rd, so make sure you've got notifications switched on so you can watch those videos right away. Okay, so first of all, last night Call of Duty released their Story So Far trailer, and that recaps everything that we know about what's happening in Verdansk, and it takes you through the elements of single player and spec ops that are relevant, and that ties in directly to the backstory around Warzone, the gas clouds and the bunkers that have been the main elements so far. The trailer is where we're getting most of this information, and we'll start off with the new weapons for Season 4. Now recently there has been a bunch of leaks that gave us quite a few different possibilities as to what weapons could be coming to us in Season 4. But as of last night, 2 of those weapons were confirmed: the Galil assault rifle and the Vector SMG, both iconic weapons from past Call of Duty titles. The Galil first made its appearance in Black Ops 1, part of the Cold War setting. Maybe that's a hint towards the next Call of Duty game, Black Ops Cold War? I guess we'll find out soon. It's a weapon known for its fairly controllable personality. It's got low recoil and a mid to high rate of fire. It came with a 35 round magazine as standard, and it could be upgraded to 50 rounds with the extended mag attachment. And the Galil has already sort of been hacked into Modern Warfare on PC, some clever folks using the files to get things working, but it will be nice to officially have it in our loadouts as of June the 3rd. And I'm assuming here, like previous seasons, the weapons, they'll be worked into the battle pass, and so you'll have to work through a certain amount of levels to unlock them. The Galil has a really good chance of shaking up the meta in the assault rifles category at the moment. If you're playing Warzone at all, then you'll know that the Grau and the M4 are far and away the most popular choices, and that's simply because they're great at almost everything. The Grau has very low recoil stats before you even start adding attachments to bring it even further down, and the M4 is basically the jack of all trades. Any situation you find yourself in, the M4 is going to help you out. But the Galil has a chance to come in, shake things up, and give us a new option at least initially. And hopefully, we'll see some people switch up their Warzone loadouts and integrate this thing just for some freshness at the beginning of Season 4 anyway. And we don't know, it could be a really good weapon to use throughout Season 4. And then there's the Vector. This weapon was spotted in the hands of Gaz in the trailer, and there's really no mistaking that weapon profile. It's definitely the Vector. This thing is probably one of the most iconic weapons in the history of the franchise. It's featured in plenty of past titles, and it's known for its high rate of fire, around 800 rounds per minute, and relatively controllable recoil. The Vector is likely to come in, and it's going to challenge the MP7 and the MP5 for that close range power in your loadout. At the moment, the MP7 and the MP5, they're basically your go-to SMG options in Warzone. That's because they're really good at close range, and you can just rely on them to take somebody down really quickly. Other weapons in the category, they're kind of swept to the side because they're not that consistent. And so, just like the Galil, the Vector has a chance to come in here with Season 4 and really shake up loadout choices. And then as for a third weapon, well, right now we're not really sure what this could be, but based on how Infinity Ward have been running their season so far, we get 2 weapons in the Battle Pass, and then a third one added in the middle of the season, and you have to do some kind of challenge to unlock it. We shouldn't have to wait too long to find out what that weapon could be, if indeed there will be a third weapon in Season 4, and if there is, you can be sure there will be a few hints and teasers along the way. Alongside these new weapons, we need to talk about the new operators coming in Season 4, because the big Easter egg that started in Warzone, the storyline behind everything that's going on, it's come right to the forefront. The bunkers opening up and theories about how the nukes housed inside Bunker 11 are going to become part of this massive event to transform the Verdansk map. Confirmed right at the end of the trailer, Captain Price is the Season 4 operator. He's shown in the frame of the Warzone drop lane, and the key art for Season 4, it showcases him standing front and center. Now, Price is one of the most iconic characters in the franchise, so seeing him become part of the game in a more interactive way, that's pretty awesome. His appearance is likely connected to the secret recording video that we got late last week from Call of Duty, where Al-Assad and Zakhaev, they were discussing what's going to be happening next. And we don't really know that yet, but Price was shown in the recording. There was a really blurry image captured by Al-Assad, and he describes him as an old friend. And then there could be a second operator as well, seemingly confirmed is Gaz. He featured in the Modern Warfare campaign, and he's the guy holding the Vector in the final seconds of the trailer right behind Captain Price. Then we're going to move on to the Warzone story, because that's the whole point of this story so far trailer. I did actually make a video the other day bringing together all the details surrounding what could be some sort of nuclear event happening in Warzone to kind of end Season 3 and start Season 4. Now, that could still be happening, but based on the footage and the clips shown in this trailer, we're not really seeing any map changes that would likely come from a nuclear event happening in Verdansk. There's nothing happening in the background, nothing really looks anything different. The theory is, though, that the dam location, that's going to be hit by a nuclear warhead, and then flooding is just going to happen all across the map as the water is completely unfrozen, and it's going to leave destruction in its wake. But nothing in the trailer remotely suggests that's going to happen. However, the trailer is simply laying out the story so far, and only right at the end do we see a new element coming into the mix, that's Captain Price, and the trailer isn't directly labelled as a Season 4 trailer, so that's why I said there still could be a chance that this event is going to happen. However, I do now think it's more likely that this event will happen in the middle or towards the end of Season 4, as I personally think more should have happened to advance the story over the last few days, and nothing has really happened since we opened Bunker 11. I guess we'll have to wait and see what might happen, but we might not be so close to an event as we first thought. But we're still not done yet. There's still more to talk about for Season 4. Revealed within the text of the key art for Season 4, you can see a new multiplayer map. This is Scrapyard. This is actually already in Modern Warfare as part of the Warzone map. It's in the Boneyard area, but it looks as if a smaller part of that will now be transplanted into the main multiplayer as well, and it will become the next map added to the game. Scrapyard was one of the really popular maps from Modern Warfare 2, and so it's great to see it coming back in this Modern Warfare game, and it's great to see Infinity Ward putting out so much content not only for Warzone, but for the main multiplayer as well. So, up until this point, all of that stuff we've just talked about, that is all but confirmed for Season 4. But as always, there's some unofficial info that's kind of leaking out, so let's dig into some of that. According to in-game files, both Battle Royale and the Plunder modes in Warzone have received updates to support 200 players, a change that was previously rumoured to be part of Warzone in its future. This means, perhaps starting in Season 4, that matches are going to get even bigger and more chaotic at the beginning of rounds. Naturally, matches with that kind of player number, they will thin out as the gameplay goes on, but across the whole stretch of playtime during a round of Warzone or Plunder, there will be more players moving around the map. So that means more gunfights, more scrapping for loot, and even more chaos. Now personally, I felt that 150 players in Warzone so far has kind of been almost perfect for the size of the map, and perhaps 200 might be pushing things a little bit too far, but you never know, it might work out pretty well, and we haven't played it yet, so we can't really be certain. I've got a feeling though that Infinity Ward will make the 200 player mode a limited time matchmaking option, at least initially, to see how things go. A bit like they did recently for that classic Battle Royale trios or the scopes and scatterguns that they had up a few weeks ago. One thing that is sure though, it's going to shake up the landing spots if there are 200 players. With more people dropping in, these already hot locations, you might find trios or quads kind of move away from them a little bit and maybe go to previously quieter places so that they can ensure that they get at least some loot before they're jumped on by another team. And then, one last thing, I think nearly everybody's been waiting for this, duos. References to the mode have been found again in the files, and it looks like at some point during Season 4, duos will be activated as a matchmaking option, and finally, pairs of friends can go into a mode where they're only playing against other pairs, as opposed to having to join trios matches. I have won a few trios matches whilst playing in a pair, and it can be really thrilling, but you know you're always the underdog. So I wouldn't say no to a fully dedicated duos option. So that's everything we know about Season 4 so far. 2 new weapons in the Galil and the Vector, and possibly a third one later on. 2 new operators being Captain Price and Gaz. A new multiplayer map returning from Modern Warfare 2, which is the Scrapyard map. And on top of all of that, if leaks are to be believed, 200 player lobbies in Warzone and Plunder, and potentially duos matchmaking. Season 4 is gonna be a big one for Modern Warfare, and I'm really excited to get stuck in on June the 3rd. If you're excited for Season 4, then make sure you hit the like button below and support this video, and leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff. And I'll catch you all in the next one.